Bianca,
sì.
Oggi iniziamo perché ormai la settimana scorsa mezz'ora di questo.
Sei fortunato oggi.
Ha 3 bellissime ragazze.
Hai visto?
Allora,
lucky man today.
dear people on the other side, I'm very, very lucky because we got 3 beautiful ladies this morning. And I want to welcome a very good friend of the people of Campbelltown, my very good friend in local government, because this lady has been in local government for quite a few years, and she knows her stuff, she knows her area, and she knows our word, which we'll be talking. And we say good morning to Marijka Ryan. Welcome.
Thank you very much, John, and buongiorno to everyone.
Good on you. Finally, after a little while, you've been able to come on our program. So every time we sort of met here and there, yes, John, when, how, but I'm very pleased that you've been able to make it this morning in our program.
Thank you very much. I'm very honoured to be here. I'm particularly honoured to be in your presence, John. You're an incredible person in our community and a very valued member. And as a former councillor within council, certainly somebody who is extremely important for Campbelltown City itself.
Thank you. As everybody knows, we've been doing this program for quite a few years, and we speak to all different mayors, chief executive, expert, planners, architect, trade people. We like them, we don't like them. So we speak to a group of people. We usually just before the election and after the election we talk to new members. So we do it around, and I'm very honored and pleased that you're here. We're going to ask our beautiful Eleonora to do a nice photo for Facebook. And Eleonora, have you met this young lady? Oh, everybody's got their own bylaw, so that's why they're able. Yeah. But anyway, thank you to come along, and thank you to spend this next hour with us. She's coming along. Sto parlando con Marijka Ryan. Marijka, we start just introducing who you are, where you're from, and why did you go in local government, and how long have you been now in local government?
Okay, I have always been interested in anything that revolves around our community. I think my parents instilled that in me when I was very young. And I've lived primarily in Tranmere as I was growing up, and now live in McGill, still in the city of Campbelltown. For a short time I did venture out of the city of Campbelltown for a few years, but came back, as everybody always does. It's a wonderful place. It has a lot of ethnic communities in there. We have a very strong Italian community in Campbelltown, and the community that I was raised in has similar values. It's all about family, hospitality, community, and working together so everybody benefits. And as a result of my love and passion for the community, I nominated for council 9 years ago, actually, in April. And this year in April will be 9 years, and I was elected from a by-election when my predecessor, Jeannie Matzik, retired to look after her very ill husband. Unfortunately, we lost Jeannie last year. She herself has passed on. But she was a wonderful role model for me, and she was very vocal in the community, and she taught me quite a bit about how to represent your community well. So I took a lot of notes, met with her on many occasions, and even visited her on a sort of regular basis at the nursing home before she passed away. So a great...
so 9 years.
9 years, yes.
It's quite a long time, isn't it?
It is, and was very...
So you're senator from all sides. So you always been in the same award?
I have nominated, yes, and I've been elected in the one ward, River Ward.
So where River Ward, if anybody is listening,
well,
which is River Ward?
Well, River Ward covers all of Paradise, and part of Campbelltown that's west of Lower North East Road, right down to Wicks Avenue. So it's quite a large area. But as with most areas, it has a wonderful mix of people in it that keep you on your toes all the time.
So the biggest building, it's the leisure centre, the Arch.
Yes.
The next big building and stop is the Auburn.
Well, that's been quite controversial.
Well, we'll go into that very slowly. And then you got the Paradise Community Church.
Yes.
You got the Daily Oval. So you go all the way up to, how far do you go?
Well,
Paradise Models, is that in your area?
It is. The Daily Oval isn't actually part of Riverward. It's part of Hectorville Ward.
No, I'm sorry.
Campbelltown Memorial.
Oh,
yes,
Campbelltown
yes,
Memorial.
Yes.
How did I get the one next to Red Avenue confused with Daly Road? Okay, but you know what I mean. I started from James Street.
Yes.
The big symbol of buildings. You got the three big one, and then you got the Campbelltown Oval.
Yes, Riverward is very well endowed with
so you
major
go all
assets.
the way along the linear park.
Yes, we do.
And you're up to... You go up to the Atherstone Football Club or before that?
No, we go to Atherstone Football Club. Schultz Road is the boundary.
So you go all the way. So Thornton Park is in your area?
Yes, it is.
How? So the reality, you got the Arch, which is, I was so impressed on Saturday. You know, I couldn't find the park.
I know.
So
it's
very impressed.
Very popular.
Then you got the bus stop there.
The Oban, very big bus stop.
Then you got the Paradise Community, which is...
yes.
Then you got Campbelltown Oval, which $5 million.
Yes.
So, and you put in a lot of work.
Yes.
But then you got the Thornton Park and the Friday Market,
yes,
which has been a great success.
It has indeed.
For your ward. So you got everything, more or less the city of Campbelltown revivals around you. Una zona... the famous stop, which we will be talking about this apartment in a few minutes. And then the Daily Oval, not Daily Oval, what am I doing? Campbelltown Oval, they were very lucky because Marijka has been pushing for this. They got $5 million from a friend, Christopher Payne, to upgrade. This has been really an upgrade for a long time, but it's coming. And then... a few years ago, in fact, when I was on council too, we wanted to have a market, and I always pushed for Thornton Park. But I lost, and somebody won, and I did the market next to the council, then at the library. But then a few years later, they went back and said, no, he's got to go to Thornton Park. Now, this market probably is the number one in South Australia.
It's true.
Marijka, if you can start and tell us a little bit about whatever, or it talked about your main things. Now, tell us all about which one you're going to talk about. The Arch, because you worked so hard to make sure, 9 years in different people, different government, different party, but
well, yes, you've actually covered it very well, John. A community centre that we first started with, the leisure centre was called in those days, needed an upgrade. So we worked very hard. I've been on the Campbelltown Leisure Centre Redevelopment Committee for as long as I've been on council. And the committee only was disbanded recently after we opened it last year. So our services were no longer needed. But that was a really long project that took many years, many staff hours, many council hours, and much involvement from many stakeholder groups. And I think we've actually broken ground here because Campbelltown is moving into new directions with funding drying up and with the possibility of having capped council rates for next year, depending. We're looking at how we can actually fund a lot of the major projects that we have in the area and how we're going to supplement council income. And this is the first time that Campbelltown has ventured into a commercial situation. And the ARC is that. It's a commercially run operation.
So finally, what you're saying, after so many years that never used to make any money, now looks the other way around.
Well, I don't know if we'll be making that much money, but we certainly will be contributing towards council projects and council running costs and things like that. We have to look to the future, as most councils do nowadays. Some councils are running so low on funds that they are not viable. And, you know, the smaller councils in the regions have a big problem with this.
But Marijka, since you've been on council, 9 years.
Yes.
Look how many projects you people done.
I know.
So, I mean, you know, when you look at it, in 9 years, 10 years, the library, the depot, the arch.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, if you... why? I mean, you know, so many other councils that we talked to with Bianca and Rosina, they, for years, they never... But in the last few years, I mean, so you should be very proud, in other words,
extremely.
of what you've been able, I mean, the whole
achievements.
Group and the staff, the whole group and the staff would have been able to achieve, because, like what I said the other night, if you got a project, you bring it forward, then something will happen.
That's it. So, well, we've always worked strategically, and you know yourself, you were very well involved in the library, and fantastic job that you and the committee did to make that happen. The library is one of the best.
When you look at many things that they've done the last few years in Campbelltown, I mean, the people of Campbelltown, they've got to say, and look how tough it is now. And look what you said. If they somehow, they want to cap, they want to do this, they want to do that, Campbelltown has got it.
We have been fortunate because we've got extremely good staff. Our CEO is brilliant. He's a very resourceful man. So are the staff. And they work very hard to putting things together in advance. So when we go to get funding, we have things in place. We can go and approach the state and federal governments, and having those plans in place makes it possible for us to get the funding that we need. So we've been very lucky in that respect, that the calibre of staff that we have, and the council itself, very progressive. But we don't go overboard either. We don't spend beyond our means. We keep a really tight rein on our budget, and the balance, the books look very healthy. So we spend what we need to spend. We respond to what our residents and ratepayers need, and we have staff that deliver for us. So it's a good combination.
I just played. So. How are you feeling now when the number of people attended to this market, which has been so successful?
Absolutely fantastic. I think it's testimony. If you have had the opportunity to go and visit the Moonlight Market, you will see that it is probably one of the best markets in South Australia, maybe even Australia.
What are you talking about? Tell us when it's open, because we do two things in one.
Okay.
We let because you are asking, go and see, but
yes.
Okay, that happens.
Four
Tell
times.
Us the story.
It has a season every year. We commence. It's the first Friday of the month in November, December. Nothing in January, but then we have February and March. So we have one Moonlight Market left, so if you haven't had an opportunity to go, the first Friday in March will be our next market. Very soon. We have stalls, we have music, we have entertainment, there's food, whatever you want, you can find there. And often people come away, if they've been there for the first time, really surprised that little old Campbelltown can put something on as fantastic as this. We're very proud of our markets, and we've won awards, tourism awards, many of them, both nationally and locally in South Australia. And Campbelltown has been put on the map in many ways. One through our wonderful food industry that we have and we promote regularly through Flavours of Campbelltown. And we have also the markets, which are highlighted by the numerous wonderful little industries, local produce, and all of that is that come along, and people have an opportunity to see just how vibrant Campbelltown is, and the wonderful different places where you can also purchase all these wonderful goods.
So in other words, this has been another top story in Campbelltown.
Well, it's definitely Thorndon Park is the jewel in our crown, as we've been referring to it for many years. And the people who come along to Thorndon Park see for the first time, if they haven't before, how wonderful and how diverse and the number of different...
And how relaxing it is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Because you walk on grass.
Yes, it's beautiful.
The water next door, the hotel just around the back. So you can think for a drink, local food.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is real something nice that we would never dreamed years ago, you know.
I know, and it's not just the time that I've been on council, it's before me. Those people who were on council and yourself and...
Well, we were pushing for so
you
many
had
we must also
job.
Say congratulations to Max Ember.
Oh,
because
yes.
Max Ember has been really working so hard, but in particular for Thorndon Park.
Yes.
If you touch a little bit of Thorndon Park, Max will jump up beside you. Va bene, stiamo parlando con Marijka Roin, sta parlando del grande successo del mercato che viene fatto l'ultima volta ancora il 1 marzo. Cominciano da novembre a marzo, sono 4-5 volte che la fanno. Partecipate perché
sì,
tutto quello che siamo tu ci sei andato
sì.
a vedere, so
sì,
you've been there, Bianca.
Yeah,
That's
been
good.
there. Very good.
Relaxing.
Yes.
Ok, se volete parlare con Marijka 8340 7700 e noi andiamo ora a un break e poi ritorniamo sempre con Marijka Roin. Marijka, more or less of a wood, which is the river wood. But there is another great thing that Campbelltown has been very, very lucky, Marijka, and it's the Tour Down Under.
Yep, fantastic.
So before we go to the controversial paradise interchange, let's talk about the good things first. So, in your opinion, I think has been tremendous, this Tour Down Under for the state, but in particular for Campbelltown. What can you tell us?
Well, it's been one of those, another successful project that we've been involved with. We do go every year and renew our bid to be a participant in the Tour Down Under, and hosting the finish has been absolutely fantastic for us. It's put Campbelltown on the map in a different way, and not just through our produce, but just and our wonderful facilities that we have, but highlights the fact that Campbelltown is a place that you can come and enjoy. We have healthy regimes there. We work with many organisations to promote healthy lifestyles, and cycling is part of that. And we're very fortunate indeed to host the finish, and we have a fantastic turnout every year, and it's grown from strength to strength. So very proud of that achievement as well.
So what would you say to your colleague councillor from Bonside Council a couple of weeks ago, that she more or less said that, leave it to the other people?
Yes, I think she used some different other words, but...
well, I don't want to hear.
She's actually a lovely councillor.
Yes,
I know her very well.
Yeah.
We work together on the Eastern Health Authority Board, which is a subsidiary of the ERA councils, the Eastern Region Alliance councils, and she is a very outspoken, lovely person, but, sometimes when it ends up in the papers, it doesn't always come out the way it's meant to come out.
When you find... 80% of the community wants it. Now, that's why I asked you, because you got, you know what it is, and you're not building it up. I mean, it's fantastic for Campbelltown, fantastic for South Australia.
It is,
So,
absolutely. And Campbelltown is featured on the international stage. So we're very fortunate
but
to...
apart from that, the actual day for the people, I've never seen so many people walk all the way
Yes.
and nobody complaining. The road is blocked, whatever it is, and nobody complains. Everybody walks all the way along. How?
Well-
So when you get, I do my little 7 hours drive around in the morning, in the afternoon, just to see the effect of people. They walk, leave the car, quite a while or distance, and walk along. How? And I'm saying, but look,
I know people enjoy the atmosphere. It's when the world comes to Campbelltown, and people enjoy it. They take advantage of it. The economic benefits for the city alone are fantastic. People come and they spend, and they're happy to spend their money there. They're enjoying themselves. It's a fantastic family outing. The atmosphere is electric when you are there.
so in other words, you're talking about fat. That the tour is given really the city of Campbelltown a lift.
Absolutely.
So in other words, you talked about the market, you talked about everything else, but the tour is more or less something which the whole city, the whole northeastern, they grab it. I never thought that the road from the hills would have been so important into the tour.
Yes, that famous
years ago,
corkscrew.
you never would have thought that particular hill. It's very important for them because it's the only one, and I never thought that one day the tour down under would go through that area.
People love nature.
Yeah, but la strada, it's the road,
Yeah.
the way it is. Because, I mean, in France, in Italy, or around the world, they got all the hills.
Yeah.
Here, we don't have. I
No.
mean, but this particular hill plays a big part.
Ooh.
Va bene. So, you are saying up to now, let's go to the... Let's touch Adelaide, Campbelltown Oval. So, what's really happening there in Campbelltown Oval? You got the money? So you've been very lucky to secure this money 12 months ago or a few months ago.
Yes, absolutely. We thank our federal member, Christopher Pine, for that. He's been a big supporter of many of our projects in the area, and like the state have also been. And without their help and assistance, we wouldn't have been able to get many of the projects off the ground.
So where are you up to now? Because there's a lot of planning, a lot of work.
Yes.
So what stage? Can you tell us?
Well, it's
still
a work.
under wraps?
No, it's not under wraps. It's a work in progress. We have the master plan already laid out, which we needed before we got the funding. Christopher Pine came and obviously handed over the cheque for the money and for the funding for the project to proceed. And we're now working towards getting that done. So in the next year or so, you'll see major improvements happening. So we're thrilled with where it's at. So the money's in the bank.
They really needed, because probably
it was very tight.
Campbelltown was one of the originally, when Campbelltown started, everything was more or less around there. They played football, cricket, everything.
They did.
Everything there, and everything needed upgrade.
Well, absolutely, and we had different buildings for different groups, and it was disjoint, and there wasn't one central area. So now with the new plans and the designs that we have in place, we'll put everybody under the same roof, and everybody will be housed beautifully. Top facilities for our athletes and the sporting groups who use the facility.
So you think in the next 12 months? We'll see some new buildings starting?
Well, I don't hold me to it, but the plans are for over the next 12 to 24 months that should be complete.
Oh.
And we're actually starting work on that very soon. And we're also looking at an open date for the opening of the facility, hopefully within our sesquicentennial year, which is coming up, which is very exciting.
Very good. Either we'll see her one day as a mayor, or we'll see her one day at North Terrace. So,
Yeah, perché no?
Marijka's got this
Why
ambition.
not?
Why not?
We need a smart woman.
You need a smart one. But today, I mean, oggi è l'epoca delle donne.
Bisogna
Today,
approfittare.
it's the time of the woman, lady.
Mm-hmm.
So Marijka has got a lot of people in Parliament, they start from local government. Local government is a stepping stone. You learn, you listen. You know how many hours that Marijka really spends at night time? There's so many in our community. They'd rather watch television, they'd rather go home, have a glass of wine, sleep, get up. They don't bother of anything. They don't even do 1 hour volunteers.
Yeah.
But in her case, it looks like it's only a couple times a month, but then all the subcommittees, all the...
Devi conoscere la tua zona e la
but she
tua
knows,
gente.
with 9 years, Bianca, you know the area, you know the problem,
right.
you know what's going on, and you're able to...
è quello che le persone vogliono.
quello che le persone vogliono. E poi quando ci sono dei successi, when something is going well, that helps for everything else.
Yeah.
Allora, siamo parlato di tutto
Tutte
il
cose
buono.
belle.
Ora dobbiamo parlare, we're going to talk about this controversial okay. We'll leave that for, we got to have a sponsor, because without a sponsor we don't have any radio. So benissimo, siamo ancora qui. Why, Marijka, you putting so much time? Why have you got this ambition? I mean, in you, I can look at you, you're never tired. You always, I don't know, you always want to learn
My
more.
husband would tell you otherwise.
I would imagine that.
I've always got a headache.
But, of course, she runs a business, her husband business as well. So we never talked about your private side.
No, well, I won't take any credit for that. I just do the marketing for that.
Why?
So my husband is the business. He's the brains behind it all. And
But you do the marketing, you do the
Yes,
books, you do
yeah.
so you run it with him.
Well, it is a family concern.
It's a family concern.
Yeah.
That's good. Va bene. Allora, let's go back now. There's been a lot talking about this apartment in your ward. Mm-hmm. Now, you tell us how, what, and where we're going from there. Because I saw that you moved the motion.
Yes, I did.
But leave that to last. Put us up
How
from
it started?
start. Yes.
Okay. A little while ago, a company called by the name of Barrio Developments had started making offers to buy up blocks of land on Gamo Road. And they were successful. They purchased quite a few, and they ended up with seven blocks. They had homes on them already. And they put forward a little while ago to Campbelltown, to the DAP, plans for a development of 18 double-storey dwellings. Now, those that didn't come through, and the developer ended up going back to the drawing board and presented to council, as a matter of courtesy, what their plans were going to be for the future. We thought they might be coming back with something smaller. They came back with something a lot larger. They came back with a 5-storey development, which encompassed mixed-use arrangement. There were a doctor's studio, a doctor's practice, a gym, a supermarket, 71 student accommodation, and a variety of 2- and 3-storey apartments, all to be housed on this single piece of land now that they hold, made up of 7 single homes that are there at the moment. Now, those 7 single homes probably contained, on average, of say 2 to 3 people per home, 21 people. We're looking at a population explosion in the vicinity of over 200 people if this proposal was to have got ahead. We had an enormous backlash from the community. They spoke very strongly and council spoke with them. Together, we put our submissions in, and there were quite a few. I think from memory there were 157 submissions, plus the council's, and that was heard by the DAC.
So explain to us, because it's a project above $3 million.
Correct.
Okay.
It was
away from the council hand, directly to the state government and the agency, which is DAC. And not many people will really understand.
Yeah.
But it's an agency on behalf of the government.
Correct.
So in other words, it's not in the zoning.
No, I was just about to touch on that.
Yeah.
The DAC have the ability to acquire a development application and have it heard, rather than the application coming before the council development assessment panel. And that's exactly what happened, because the project is over 20 million. They decided to acquire it, and then it was heard. Because the project was so opposed by the local community, rather than have everybody come to them at their office in the city, they hired out the function centre, the Campbelltown Function Centre, and all of the people who made submissions came and presented there. So we were very worried as to how this was going to turn out. But in the end, we were so thrilled that the Development Assessment Commission actually made the right decision. They upheld...
Not to approve.
Not to approve. They upheld and listened to all of the objections raised by the community and by council, and they upheld the decision. But that victory was short-lived, because the developer has now filed
an appeal
in the
another battle.
ERD court. And last week, or the last council meeting, I moved a motion that was unanimously supported by council to join, or to ask for permission to join with DAC in fighting this appeal.
With the residents?
Yes, yeah. So we are currently...
So at this stage has been refused by council.
Yes.
The developer has gone to the appeal.
Correct.
So now you joined it forces. So your motion...
Not yet. We have to ask for permission to be joined. So the court has to assess...
first.
First, and if they approve it, then we are joined with them to fight.
To fight and to not go ahead.
Yes, but...
Because as you're saying, there's 25 to 30 people now, and there will be 200 people. Will really be something upside down. And it's not the zoning.
No,
because I remember when you really
absolutely
did a lot of fight.
We did.
When they introduced the zoning, and you said...
I did. I took it to the streets.
Look, this area here, it's a residential. Yeah. Let's leave it like that. And and really the government listened to you.
Well, the
because
minister...
they didn't approve the zoning. I mean, the right zone is from Glynde to Paradise, where you can do multi-story.
That's right.
So that's not the area.
No. We fought very hard, and I did take it to the streets. We organised a petition, and we got over 700 people who signed. And it went to the government, and when we amended the plan, the development plan, the government signed off on it. Minister Rao signed off on this development plan, which actually zoned that area as residential, with nothing over 2 stories.
So really, if they wanted to do it, they had to rezone the area first, and then put the plan in.
Correct.
So these guys went straight to the government?
Well, as developers go, and we love our developers. We love our developers. So some are very good and some work with councils.
I must say I'm a developer.
You're a developer, John?
You're the good one.
But I'm still developing. Developing, you also got to follow the rules wherever it
course.
is. And some area which they designed,
And
the Campbelltown Council, every 3-4 years, they change their zoning. So if you want to change the particular zone, there's a lot of work to do, and you got to reach there.
Yeah.
So there is a process.
They are right.
There is a process, and they've changed some of the zoning. Oh yes, they changed some of the zoning, and okay, so that's the case.
Yes.
Va bene. Allora, I'll say a few words in Italiano. He backed out, and he said that tonight he's going to move a motion not to go ahead because he had a proposal around the town hall to do multi-story. So some of the other people are backing off what they originally don't want to go through. They can see that, some of the decision, some of the places are not in the right place.
Well, this is something that we're very much aware of. We know that other councils would be looking at the decisions that have been made on this particular project and this application by the developer. So it was important for us not to roll over and say, look, do what you want. The people were very much opposed to this, and it was there were so many areas where the development was at variance with the development plan that we had no alternative, and it was the right thing to do to join with the residents to fight against this. We're not anti-development, on the contrary. As you pointed out so beautifully beforehand, we have so many big projects and buildings and whatever that is happening.
You've got to do it, find the right area.
But it has to be in the right location. And this absolutely is not the right location. Darley Road, where there's vacant land there, where there's land for sale, perfect location, but not on this location, right in the middle of a quiet, peaceful suburb.
Well, you're the area councillor. You can say, I said it myself, I got conflict of interest because I'm a developer, but of course you got to follow the rules. And the rules are laid down very, very clear. Marijka, we reached to our time. Our next guest is here. He's been very Bianca, don't
Very
you think,
nice.
Rosina? Fantastic.
Very interesting.
Very smooth.
Very interesting.
We'll have to ask you, what do we say? Let's wish you move on to a next step, and maybe you never know that our next time we'll be able to give you an interview with a different approach to our community.
You are a sly fox, John. You are a sly fox.
Va bene, allora Marijka,
look forward to
say
seeing
goodbye or a cheerio to your friends. And
Yes. Look, thank you very much for having me on. I feel very privileged that you've asked me on, and I thank everybody who has supported me in the past, and I've had many supporters, and I've been a supporter of yours too, John. Wonderful.
I'm support of yours.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been wonderful to come on, and hopefully there'll be other opportunities in the future.
Grazie, allora noi salutiamo America, noi andiamo un break e poi ci abbiamo il prossimo ospite.